What is up, everybody? It's your favorite white boy back. I am back, and I'm badder than ever. I'm the baddest bitch you'll ever see, guys. The baddest, just so we all know. We are here with a very special guest on the Ahsoka Tano show today. I have Jenna here. She makes amazing art. She loves Ashley as much as I do. She loves Ahsoka as much as I do. We're not matching, but we have Ahsoka gear on. That's all I'm going to say. We have Ahsoka gear. And she has a headband that I want to steal, but I won't look good in it. But, so Jenna, how are you, my friend?
I am good. How are you?
I'm still alive, unfortunately. Still alive.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. That's all. So Jenna, my first question to you is, how did you get in to the art world?
I actually told this story to my friend the other day. I was never artsy, like growing up, like in elementary school and things like that. I was never an artsy person. And then one day I was 10 years old and we were in art class, and my best friend at the time, she was drawing horses. I was so angry that her horse was better than mine that it like triggered this really unnatural, like competitive thing in me that I needed to be better than her. So I worked so hard for years to just draw really, really well. And it just ended up sticking just because of that one moment. And I was laughing when I was thinking about that being the reason, because I haven't drawn a horse since that day. I never actually worked on trying to draw a horse really well. I just went like off on my own thing. And I looked through all of my old stuff, all of my like past things that I post on the internet, no horses anywhere. And I'm like, it's weird that that's what triggered everything, but I never cared to draw one again.
See what you missed out on a horse. You missed out on a horse, Jenna.
I know. I got to work on that. Maybe I'll do that next week. I don't know.
But your art is amazing. I love your art so much.
Thank you.
Because, you know, you draw the Ahsoka art, and Ahsoka is my favorite Jedi, and then it comes Anakin. And I love how you love Ashley as much as I do. So you told me you went to the World Disney, you said art museum, right? No.
Yeah, it was like a Zoom thing, put up by the Walt Disney Archives, where, I mean, you had to like pay to get a ticket to get in, and then it was like a big Zoom call where she did this presentation with the guy who voices Mickey Mouse. And
Brett.
Yeah, Brett. He's super cool. So he moderated it, so he kind of like kept her on track, and then she went into how she created her universe and all of that.
I wish I could create something. I only create me.
I know. I wish I could be a little bit more original and think of something like an entire company like that by myself, but
yeah, like I have things, but it's like I just copy from others.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's how it works.
I'm just copying from others. But so back to your art real quick. What is your favorite art piece that you've created?
I really like there was one that I did last week, I think it was. I got, again, it was like a competitive thing, or just like I need to prove that I'm right sort of thing, where a guy had come onto my page and he had told me that I was super unoriginal and that I was just tracing my work, because I like to use the Ahsoka Hot Toys figure as like a reference, because it's really good. Like the proportions on it are fantastic.
Okay.
And I'm like super obsessed with getting proportions correct. So I love that figure and it's beautiful. And I'm like, this is so good. And obviously I take her and, you know, put her into backgrounds, do things. So I'd like try to make it look like she's more realistic and more lifelike and everything like that. But this guy was super heated about the fact that I used it as a reference, and then accused me that I just traced on top of it. So then I went and I created a piece of work that was literally just from my brain of Ahsoka. It was Rebels Ahsoka, and it's completely original, and the lighting and everything that I did on it is gorgeous. And so like that's my new favorite one, because it was born out of the need to prove that I'm right. So I made it completely and totally, you know, from my brain, and it's just beautiful, and I'm gonna order one to just hang in my house because I love it so much.
So it's the one that you posted. I think I know which one you're talking about. I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, like it's. I can just this one.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Now, oh, that's on your computer. I thought that was real. I thought you had it in hand.
No, no, this is my iPad sitting on
Oh,
my lap.
but that's amazing. Very well done, Jenna. Well
Thank you.
done. So my next question is to you. So we're both big Ahsoka fans, and I hope we're like on the same page with this, but I don't think we will because we're all different from each other. All Ahsoka fans are different. So, what is your favorite moment of Ahsoka in the Clone Wars or Rebels, or what is your favorite moment in general of hers?
Yeah, that's hard. I think it might be stereotypical, but the moment where she meets up with Vader, it gives me chills. Like it gives me goosebumps, and I love watching it because it just I don't know. Like that to me was also like it was unmatched. I think that out of everything in the movies and everything, every piece of media that we've given in Star Wars, like that to me was like the pinnacle of just like breathtaking.
It was.
So I love that, and I love when she says I am no Jedi, because as much as I'm more like leaning towards liking the good guys, I don't agree with the Jedi either. I think that they are super flawed. So when she says that, it's like she is serving the Force and serving the light, but she's not a Jedi, and I love that. So I do enjoy that a lot, but there's, I mean, a bunch of different things. We rewatched the movie the other day because we wanted to start watching everything from the movie till Siege of Mandalore for Bad Batch when it comes out. And I mean, even just a bunch of moments in the movie where everybody hated her. I remembered why I loved her so much. It's just because she's, spunky. She's, unapologetically herself. And I love that. And that's why everybody else couldn't stand her. But like everything that she does, I enjoy it so much. And it's just funny because, watching it now and watching it back then, it's like the parallels are like everybody loved Anakin. Like all of my, little guy friends in like elementary school and everything, they all loved Anakin so much for the same reasons that I loved Ahsoka, but they hated Ahsoka for the same reasons they loved Anakin. Like they, that she was snippy, that she didn't want to follow the rules, that she backtalked, but Anakin did all of those things too. So it's interesting to watch. But yeah, everything that she does, I love it. All the flawed parts and everything.
I tell you, I love her. I watch her and then just like get little teary eyes. I'm like, oh my god, you're so cute. Like I just want to hold you. But my favorite moment is that definitely with Vader, because it's like brother and sister, and she never believed it.
Mm-hmm.
She never believed it. She believed it in like Rebels when you watch it. Like she gets like little like oh, who could fly like that, or like why is he flying so good? And like you just sense it, like something is coming and something is brewing. Like in the Siege of Mandalore, like she didn't want to believe like Anakin went to the dark side because Maul was telling her like you lied. And I'm like, Ahsoka, just believe, girl, just believe. But she never did. And Siege of Mandalore is my favorite arc, and the Mortis arc and the World of Worlds. But yeah, Ahsoka is like part of me, and I love her so much. She's such an inspirational character because, like you said, a lot of people hated her because she was that teenager when you grew up with, like, no offense, but the girls sometimes are annoying, like, and I could relate to that because I could be annoying also. Like, it's just like this, we were like, I don't know how old she was in the movie. I think she was 10. I think I could say that 10 or 11.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly. I thought somewhere between, like 10, 13, 14 years old, somewhere around there.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Because it says in a paragraph, I don't know what book it says it, but Rex was like 9 and Ahsoka was 10. So I don't know how that works in Star Wars. But she's just such an inspirational character. And Ashley plays her too so well. And her voice, you can see how her voice grows too from that movie. Then season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't see her in 6. But 7, you see her in 6, but you see her like a little flashback of like her dying. and then season 7, and then Rebels, and then Mandalorian, which Ashley doesn't play it, but you see Rosario Dawson betray her. But oh my god, so good. I love so good. That's it. That's all I do, Jen. That's all I do. I just want to give everybody a hug, and that's it. That's it. So my next question: did you like Rosario Dawson to portray Ahsoka in The Mandalorian? Because I know a lot of people hated it, a lot of people loved it. I liked it. Because I know it's not the animated version of her. I know we're not gonna get that because it's not animated. But I could see Rosario Dawson like having the smirks as her, like standing, stuff like that. I could see that Ahsoka could play. So what do you think about that?
I didn't have any problems, with her portrayal of Ahsoka. Like, it didn't bother me. I thought, she, like, it was like kind of good for where she was at in her story. If it really is kind of between where she meets up with Sabine to go and find Ezra, and when she her and Vader fight and everything, if it's in between there, it totally makes sense. She's kind of not super talkative, but like stoic and wise. Like, so I totally like had no issue with that. I mean, I do feel sad though, because it's like been hinted at, and I had for my Christmas present, my husband got me a cameo with Ashley, and she talked for like 15 minutes, and in it she kind of hinted at it, and I know she's hinted at it in a couple of her posts and other things, but I think that she was really, really upset that they didn't ever consider casting her as live action Ahsoka, because she is a classically trained like live action actress. So
Yes.
She's been on That's So Raven and everything, and so just with some of the things that she said to me and some other things, like I'm just assuming, and I don't want to like put words in her mouth, but I feel like that hurt her a little bit, because she is Ahsoka and she's so close to the character and it means a lot to her. So that was my only issue, is that like I don't have any issue with Rosario or anything, but I just felt bad for Ashley, because I know what that would have meant to her. Like, that's the only issue that I have there, though, because I thought she looked good. Like, I didn't really have that much of a problem with her, Leiku being short or anything like that. I mean, I thought she did great, but that was my only thing, was that I feel like Ashley just got the short end of the stick.
Yeah, and Ashley is Ahsoka. I love Ashley. I never talk bad about her. She's amazing. I never met her. I want to meet her. So Ashley, I want to meet you. You come on my show and we have donuts. That's it. I'll buy it. We'll have like virtual donut action. But I thought Rosario would be the actress, but Ashley as the voice. At least let her. At least let Ashley keep the voice. I feel like that's what should have happened. Rosario could have betrayed her. And then Ashley could have did the voice. That would have been over the top. I would have died and came back to life, and then died again, and then came back to life again, and then died again.
As soon as she was, she was standing there in front of the big wall, and she, had her lightsabers out, and then when she talked, I was like, please, 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 but because I know they can do it, because they did it with Ray Park and Sam Witwer, and I know that was only a few lines and everything, but I'm like, I know they can, and they didn't have her talk so much to where it would have been an issue with this, but I would have loved that too. Like, anything, give her, something, because she's one of the reasons why the character is as successful as she is now, and I feel like she is owed some, credit there, but I'm not Dave Filoni. I don't make things.
So do you think we'll see Ahsoka be played by Ashley again? I think she will.
Yeah,
I don't think she's gonna die in live action. I don't think she's dead at all, to be honest. I'll ask you a question in a couple minutes about it, but I don't think she's dead at all. But do you think we'll see her Ashley play Ahsoka again?
Be in the Bad Batch. I really hope so. I mean, I feel like, I know we saw Rex, and I know that he'll be in it and everything, but I have a feeling that they'll come across her too. I just, like, I feel like if Dave Filoni has anything to do with it, she was always going to be there.
Yeah.
So
Or you know
I'm
what? Or I was thinking maybe the bird Morai will be
Mhm.
around and see what's going on.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
Morai.
for sure. I really hope so, because I know that, she would love that opportunity again, and we would all freak out. So,
Yeah, I would die. I told you I would die 4 times and come back to life all 4 times, and then maybe die for the 5th, but never come back. So, so that's good. So my next question, my final question to you, Jenna, is: do you think Ahsoka Tano is alive in The Rise of Skywalker, and why? Do you think she's alive? Because we hear her voice, and then I'll tell you my answer, and then you tell me if you agree or not.
I don't I don't think that there's like any evidence ever that she wouldn't be. So like people saying, yeah, they heard her voice, but that doesn't mean that, like,
She's dead.
because here's the thing, that whole voice thing that they did with Rey, while I loved it, didn't make a whole ton of sense, because they put old Obi-Wan and young Obi-Wan just thrown in there together, and I'm like, why would he use his young voice and his old voice? So just like, if you're thinking along like those lines, there's not a whole lot of logic to it. So that doesn't mean that she would have to be dead in order to, reach out. And then with Grogu reaching out to, Luke, if that's possible when both of them are still alive, and Luke was able to hear, if Rey was reaching out to everybody and she heard, Ahsoka, that doesn't mean Ahsoka's dead. It could just mean that she's speaking to her from just somewhere else. The only thing that would just bother me so much is that, like, if she's alive, it would be a bummer that they don't bring her into it more. I mean, they saw how popular she was, and I know that like the sequel trilogy was all about like Disney stuff and everything like that, but wouldn't you think like they could just bring her in to do something? Like, I hate
In the movies,
that we get to see her is in The Mandalorian for just like a one-off episode, and I know she's getting her show and everything like that, but it would have been really cool to like see her looking all wise and stuff, like maybe in one of the ships at the end there when they're all coming to help, like just put her in there somewhere. But yeah, I don't think that she's dead.
I don't think she's dead. You know why I don't think she's dead, Jenna?
Why?
Because when you see when you watch the Clone Wars, the Mortis arc, the sister saves Ahsoka in that moment. So to me, I don't know if people will agree with me, but to me, Ahsoka is the light side of the Force because she has the sister inside of her. And now you see Morai. Morai is the same color as that sister. You see it in Clone Wars, you see it in Rebels, and then you see it in Mandalorian when Mando goes to try to find her in the woods, and you see him up top on a branch. I was like, is that Morai? Oh, Morai, come to Chris. Come to me. But yes, Ahsoka is alive to me in The Rise of Skywalker because she's the light side of the Force. She represents the light side, just like Rey doesn't really, because she was born a Palpatine, so it doesn't make sense for her to be the light side of the Force. To me, she's not like, I don't know if I think Ahsoka's more like, me and my friends have this argument like Luke is powerful than Ahsoka, but it all depends on how you use the Force and how connected you are with the Force. So Ahsoka says in Rebels she's no Jedi, but in Mandalorian she goes, well, there's not many of us left. So when did she become back a Jedi? That too. But I'm not. I'm going off point. So the World of Worlds is the most important episode in Star Wars. Period. It's the most important episode. No one can tell me otherwise. The movies the movies don't even compare to the World of Worlds. So Morai found Ahsoka. Ahsoka was gonna die. If Morai didn't like chirp to tell Ezra to get me the hell out, Ahsoka was gonna die. So right there, Morai is the light side with Ahsoka. So if Morai dies or Ahsoka dies, I feel like the light side of the Force dies, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Like we see that in the Mortis arc and in the Clone Wars. We see Ahsoka, and Ahsoka grows from that. And I feel like she's very similar to Qui-Gon Jinn, because Qui-Gon never followed the council. He never was. He did his own thing. Like, he was at the chicken shack, and Obi-Wan was at the temple. Like, that's it. Um, and that's Ahsoka too. As Ahsoka walks away, she knows like the Jedi, like that was wrong with what they did because they should have believed their own person over some like Inquisitor Sith kind of girl, Beerus. You know, so I feel like she is alive because she's the light side of the Force. She is. People are gonna hate me for saying that, but I feel like if you watch everything, and it's like, why no one else has a bird? Like, to be honest, like no one has a Morai, and if you don't watch the Mortars, like you don't know what I'm talking about. So I definitely feel that, and she even says like in Rebels, like she has saved me so many times, something like that, many times that I could count. So it's not the first time she's been saved. And the bird watch is over Ahsoka too. That's the other thing. I hope we get more info on Morai in her series, and I hope even in the like maybe the Bad Batch we see Morai, because that's where Ahsoka is. Whenever Morai is around, Ahsoka is close by or somewhere near there. But I hope we see. But do you understand what I'm saying, Jenna? Because I know I'm like talking out of like circles.
No, I definitely have for sure. Is that she's basically the representation of the light after the whole Mortis arc. I've definitely had the exact same thought because, you know, at first I remember, you know, my first whole watch through everything, just being younger, like, you know, I thought she was maybe closer to like the Bendu, but you know, you think about it more, you watch everything more than once, and I've come to basically like the same like thought process that you have, is that she's just basically the light side. She's the Ashla. So
she is. Oh, so good. This brings me to tears, Jenna. Just brings me to tears. So Jenna, before we go, where can everybody find you on the social medias?
So underneath let's see, Instagram, Twitter, I think I'm Batu Mando underneath Batu underscore.
I think you're Batu underscore Mando.
Yeah, and I spelled it wrong. It's the only because the other one was taken at the time, so it's 2 T's instead of the 2 U's. So that's where I'm at. And if you see, while we've been speaking, I did this.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's from season 7, right?
Yep, season 7. Just side profile of her face.
That's what we're doing. Guys, so make sure you go follow Jenna. I'll put the links in bio. And you guys can follow me. I'll put the links in bio. Don't worry. All the sexiness in one place. I know it gets a little tricky. I know. But Jenna, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, and I really, really appreciated you enjoying my work and giving me this opportunity.
Oh, Jenna, stop me. Don't make a white boy cry. You know this, Jenna. Don't do that to me. It
was lovely talking to you.
Oh, that's better. Don't make me blush. I don't have makeup on. But guys, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Ahsoka Tano Show, for interviews, unboxings, reactions, and just all the sexiness in one place. I know it's hard to keep track. I know, I understand, but you guys can do it. I believe. You believe in the Force. I believe in the Force. We all can believe in this sexiness right here, this atmosphere. But thank you, Jenna, for joining me today. I'll talk to you in a few minutes after this. Guys, be kind to one another. Stay safe, and may the Force be with you always. Bye.
In my life, when you find people who need your help, you help them, no matter what.